So I wanted to do a video because these are my mom's geraniums, and because it's the summer and she's trying to get her vacation life on, I took on taking care of them for her while she was away a few weeks ago. And I was just watering them, and I noticed that there were these really ugly bugs that were on them, and that they seemed to be killing them. And so upon researching the bug, I found out that they were Japanese beetles. And so when you Google them, one of the things that they say that you can do to kill them organically is to get a bowl of soapy dishwater and to put them in the bowl and drown them. So not all, but many of these geraniums, she has 4, were kind of infested with them. You'll notice that they have holes. So this is a sign of beetles, but there are other bugs that can attribute to this, like moths and whatnot. But and stink bugs, I think, even too. So they were infested. So I went ahead and I sprayed them, and it got rid of them in great number, because there used to be like several of them like just flying around on these plants. So I thought it was a one and done, y'all. Like I thought, okay, surely these bugs are not gonna make a comeback. They're not coming back, but they did. Okay, very frustrating, very irritating. This is the soapy water, so you'll see there are 2 of them, and they should be dying in there. The water is super hot because I was like, I'm sick of y'all coming on my babies. Y'all better get off of them. But yeah, so the spray works, but because I believe we have like a severe infestation of them with these plants, they keep coming back. So we are living in Southfield. I'm gonna just span out as I'm making my way through my mom's yard. We're in Southfield. And so when we were in Detroit, born and raised in Detroit, what up, though? My mom didn't have issues with bugs, like getting on her plants and killing her plants. And then we moved. And so we're in Southfield. So these bugs in Southfield be on some other stuff. And yeah, so these plants in Southfield, it's amazing how you can move in one location, it's not an issue, but then you move to another location and it's an issue. I don't know what these are called. I'm sure it's a tag in there for them somewhere, but I'm not about to dig in there to try to figure that out or pull it out. But these are beautiful. Okay, they look almost to me like marigolds. Pink, yellow, orange, beautiful. So this one in particular, if I wouldn't tell you, you would not believe it. But probably like 3 weeks ago, this thing was about bare. These Japanese beetles had completely like infested this plant. I mean, like, were just on there, like sitting, like living their best life. They were just like gnarly, and you could just tell that they were releasing their pheromones and killing this plant. And so, my mom was like, should we throw it out? And I was like, she was in, out of town still. And I was like, no, you can see buds on it. Like, I think we spray it and then we just wait to see what it's going to do. And so I felt like Holy Spirit was telling me, give it a week. Don't do anything. Give it a week. And so I obeyed. I said, we're going to spray it, and then we're going to wait for a week to see what happens. And so we sprayed this plant. I sprayed this plant, and in less than a week, buds started to come. It started to flourish again. And so this is probably like a 3-week update. I really should have did a video. I should have took a picture because this thing looked dead. One of the things that gave me hope for this plant, though, was that you could see these trying to grow. And so I knew that something was coming. Even though I didn't see this, I knew that I could see potential. And so I say that to say that God really be speaking through everything. Like, for real, he'd be speaking through everything, because, it would have been easy. And they were starting to kill this one too, but they had completely like killed all of the buzz on this. And so they couldn't kill what was growing. They could only kill what had grown. So I feel like that's a testimony for somebody, that somebody needs to hear that. But I say that to say, one, you cannot kill what God is predestined to live. But even beyond that, right? They're on here again. So I got to get my bowl with my water, because you'll see, you may not be able to see it, but there's one that's totally hiding, and you can see it's kicking its little ugly legs. So, and they fly. That's the other thing. They fly, so they can just be moving all around your yard. But to think that 3 weeks ago, this plant just seemed like it was dead, it wasn't going to live. And here it is 3 weeks later, and it is really thriving. It looks better now than it did. The other funny thing is that this one was really full and just really like thriving, and it's still beautiful and full and it's doing its thing. But this one is bigger than that one now. So it's just amazing how God will do things. And I just say that as a way of hope and really just a testament to God and his power and what he can do when we just trust him and we take our hands off, we obey. But also it's been teaching me a lesson, because I thought because I treated them once, like I was done, I didn't need to treat them no more. And so I'm still having to come out to inspect them. I wear my gloves because I'm still a little skirmish about them because they ugly and they bug, right? But I think that it really just speaks to the power of what God can do when we wait on him and we just believe, but also being consistent. Because sometimes we want to pray one time and think that, okay, well, I prayed that one time, so he about to part that Red Sea. And the fact of the matter is that you might have to pray 5-10 years. You may have to become an intercessor and giving God no rest. And I know y'all may be thinking like, Jasmine, that's really deep, like these just plants. But for real, the reality is that, God is expecting for us to petition and to labor in prayer and without ceasing, without giving up. And so even though I have to still come out here and treat these bugs, it has taught me to not back down. It has taught me to stand my ground, right? 10 toes down for my faith, being prayerful, being steadfast, being consistent, being disciplined, and not thinking that because I treated them one time that I don't have to be diligent and vigilant and making sure that they are being protected against bugs that will kill them. So I hope that encourages you. I hope that inspires you to keep going, to keep being persistent and trusting in the Lord. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Be blessed. Have a wonderful week. Look at these babies. They're gorgeous.